Akuah. Now, EC has informed GFP to make arrangements to nominate a new candidate following the death of party's presidential candidate Akuah Donkoh. Akuah Donkoh wu eman edien eye apalutiase onyame tie yesufre. Now I say electoral commission no and the krata beto abontene say eye Akuah Donkoh party no omunyi eye den flag bearer na eye print na omo print ballot papers no isi say omujai. Jean Mensah aje instructions free Jubilee House say so moku Akuah Donkoh wi a me pese be fa kwan bi so na afi John Mahama number 8 no yesesa no na nkema John Mahama free 8 wo because breaking the 8 na de John Mahama be breaki binti ene Jean Mensah ni isi for say Akuah Donkoh wu omo ma Akuah Donkoh party no be 10 days say omo fa flag bearer from ra ansana eye ballot papers na omo print ya maka be 10% ni ewie no omo toaso. I want to say this. The ballot papers near the koto abano about 90% ya print ewie. Now already easy for press release omo de ba abontinia mamen kan na mindwum na Ghana for ehu de echo. Death of 2024 presidential candidate Madam Akuah Donkoh, 29th of October 2024. I'm sorry, 29th of October 2024. Now, EC4 statement of the buyer and I make the Electoral Commission has today received information on the unfortunate passing of the presidential candidate of the Ghana Freedom Party (GFP), Madam Akuah Donkoh. May she rest in peace. While the 1992 Constitution and the Public Elections Regulations 2020 CI 127 are not clear on processes to follow in the event of the death of a presidential candidate, Article 54 of the 1992 Constitution provides as follows, and I quote, where at the close of nomination but before the elections, one of the candidates dies, a further period of 10 days shall be allowed for nomination. End of quote. The commission has since informed the GFP to make arrangements to nominate a new candidate and inform the commission accordingly. In the meantime, the commission has suspended the printing of presidential ballot papers, which was near completion. See the last statement, you know. Almost say, in the meantime, the commission has suspended the printing of presidential ballot papers, which was near completion. Thank you. Samuel Tete, Deputy Chairman, Operations. Easy for say, Oma te say a year Akuah Donkoh sebio watwa nananom ewon siedo na Ghana mrano sebio emra ebo omodwuma die no ho ban a 1992 Constitution eye emra kase a ebo Ghana ho no sebio emu eye emu baby ekire say any electoral commission for so emra baby kire say sebio was say omo ka kire party ni say omo enadu omo ntimi fa obi embehye Akuah Donkoh nan na mum omo kasa no omo say Ghana eye emra kase ne enhyeda eni emra poti bia edawa ekire de ewo se omo fa so se obi a ope emampanyini edi a sebio ye beto aba no ofiri mu a na mum isi wo mra kuma bia edawa a sebio ye nyina ye betumi afaso na saa emra no ena mo frɛ no CI 127 2020 ena omode saa mra de bae no na saa mra no kyerɛ se obi epe franka anase omampanyina di na ye kwa akoto aba na se ofiri mu a party na sebio odi omonim anase oyo omo franka tufo no saa party no de omo ye ne se omo ma party no enadu na party no enyi nipa foforo na sebio omo ye den ombedi omonim no mkotu den akantuo akansie no na isi kasa no omo se eye papers a sebio yekoto eye enwo aba ma yehu bebia obi abeda no a ye rekoto aba no omo ankasa eba atooma no mutuo se papers a ye printed yakoto about 2024 December ya aka enda ediasa 9 ediasa nkrono almost a papers in there printed the dona in fact almost chichemu ohanchichemu a beye ediokron 90% there papers printed we are Akuah Donkoh edi and the picture etaraso Nemum, mbra na kire se e wo se ma Akuah Donkoh party no de ma party no akwenya ma se pese ma obi be hye Akuah Donkoh nan a nipa no e be hye Akuah Donkoh nan. Now sa asemu ya isi ede abe nipa ne nsa sha ase no ye frɛ no Samuel Tete ono so ye another kromfo a owo isi. Now obi bebusa se na asema abe Electoral Commission sebio ye nyina yenim se Electoral Commission a print election papers and a ballot papers edu be 90% no se asema si say ne say ye jai ballot papers ne printi na yama Akuah Donkoh party no 10 days say omunyi den omunyi den another presidential candidate. Question e pese busa ne say enti 90% nkrata na isi a print no sa enkrata bebrebe na yedi sika ne ink ya contracted different printing press mama print no easy se Akuah Donkoh party no eyi obia se omeye presidential candidate sa enkrata na ya print na yede serial numbers nyina to so a yede credo ato ano no easy betu egu ana easy ebekoso ama ya print na ya koto aba. Now question also busa hono say isi nankasa mmra no ne kafa den se obi wu ewo den se all contest se obe president owu abra yekoto aba o kan CI 72 sorry CI 72 and this is it sorry CI 75 where isi for nankasa mmra o kan CI 75 now 2012 and asambra we ye share no Ghana eno easy emra ni bi almost say death of a candidate. Now where an election is to be held and the candidate dies on the eve of the election and proof of the death of the candidate is given to returning officer before the commencement of the poll, the returning officer shall put on hold proceedings in relation to the election and inform the commission. Almost say easy say omumbra le kire say yekoto aba na say ebia enne ana ochena ana ada ye beto aba no say presidential candidate bi eden a ewu a yesi easy mra ne kire say e wo say officer na returning officer na ohwe sa aba so no and the Ghana yeka returning officer of Ghana's election Jean Mensah yeto aba ni nyina ewia returning officer of Ghana's election no Jean Mensah. So uba regional your returning officers but Ghana ankasa yeka returning officer nipa yede abani nyina besi na so mane kinkan ni nyina ka bom eka kire ya Jean Mensah Akuah Mensah and a returning officer isi mrano CI 75 ne kire say yekoto aba na presidential candidate bi wu a was said nipa na oye returning officer ohwe abano so no was say ohodi abano no make sure say sa asem na yesi no ye betu na mon ansana ya den ansana yakoso ato abano. Now two ne say the commission shall on receipt of information under the sub-regulation 1 adjourn the poll and allow a period of 10 days for the political party to which the candidate belonged to nominate a new candidate. In Timbrani say isi no ebe jina abano bebi ejine bia no na wa ma political party no inedu 10 days for that political party to elect a new flag bearer and then they can go ahead and conduct the elections. Now my question here is, what if say Akuah Donkoh party no entimi enyi a presidential candidate? What if say MPP for we know will do everything possible from stopping Akuah Donkoh political party no from electing a presidential candidate or nominating a presidential candidate to come and contest no? What will be the next move of the EC? A question amibusa. Because only bibi East Nankasa Krata no, almost a presidential ballot papers no, almost printed 90%, meaning abano papers abano, they are almost done in printing the papers. Because I will share documentation we are. Printing presses are almost air printed around the nation, no. Oko back press, Ashanti Regional, and Savannah. They have printed and basically they have even box all the papers. Omo printing paper nevi aka air 3 numbers bi on beshim. Omo the omo party representatives at the omo locks in ba me the atoano. Technically, papers na Akuah Ashanti region and Savannah no air back press no they have printed about 95% omo. So as act commercials, upper west, upper east, almost about 90% presidential, omo print here. Oba aye InnoLink, almost print it. Oba checkpoint, Oma print it. Fund start, Oma print it. Yasaku, Sanko Fuena easy so Oma cancel Oma contract, no. Ghana Publishing Company. Into all these publishing companies are almost printed ballot papers, no. They have done about 90% of the presidential ballots. Meaning about 90% of the presidential ballot, no. Eye Akuah Donkoh enim daso. Now easy ni say Wama Akuah Donkoh party no 10 days. Akuah Donkoh party no enyi anase omo nominate a new flag bearer na is and take into one amount. So the question to the Electoral Commission and say, so Ochina Akuah Donkoh party no a flag bearer. Are we going to discard? And our people say ya print here we are almost 90%. Mwanga say ya print most of them, you know. Are we going to throw them away and now can put Akuah Donkoh party the new flag bearer's face before we reprint all this? Ballot papers be man just a question. Now my mention the NPP for person ye. My mention the Jean Mensah episode ye. My mention the next move of the NPP. Akuah Donkoh na umukuno no. They killed Akuah Donkoh because they wanted a ballot no. John Mahama number 89 the Ghana for nyina agatu no. Omo pese omo pe kuti kwan bi so no mu change a ballot the number no na John Mahama free 8. Now, this is what they are going to do. And Ghana 4 should be alert. Nobody should allow Jean Mensah and the EC. And they say, Ebasana, election na yekotono. I will say, these people are bent on destroying our democracy. Because in any country, Akuah Donkoh, yes, statistics from Baka. Akuah Donkoh in our elections, only 200,000 votes da. Akuah Donkoh is insignificant when it comes to Ghana's elections. And yes, sir, this is the first time of Akuah Donkoh all contesting in Ghana's elections. This is the about third time a GFP party air contesting. Now, when you go back into history, the GFP and I say Akuah Donkoh party they have not made any significant inroads when it comes to numbers that can decide elections. Yet here, and your call Supreme Court election 2020, and Chief Justice. Eni yabo ane tokonu eka kire se NDC ana isi kura ede sa eye constituencies ni bi na ye ntumi ankan no kura beka NDC ho a it is not significant enough to turn over the elections, meaning that word significant it plays a very important role here. Now you come back to the first time Akuah Donkoh contested Ghana's election. When we go back to the first time Akuah Donkoh contested here to the last election we conducted in Ghana from 2020 and 2023, 2 times now, Akuah Donkoh has not gotten over 100,000 votes. Meaning, if today Akuah Donkoh party is out of the elections, or we leave Akuah Donkoh's picture to still run, at the end of the day, whatever Akuah Donkoh will get will still be insignificant. It will not change the outcome of the elections. Into reasonable Ghanaians, at this point, we are looking at an EC that will be rational and reasonable enough to say, the number of voter NPP ekuta. Said the NPP made some significant inroads in 2020 elections, and that their number is significant. They can win elections, so it is very important we do this. But as we speak, Akuah Donkoh, since contesting Ghana's election twice, Akuah Donkoh has not even made 100,000 votes. Her inclusion in the elections, whether the candidate is changed or not changed, it will not affect the general outcome of the election. So changing or stopping the printing of the ballot, it's not necessary. And at the end of the day, Akuah Donkoh is not significant. I'm talking about Akuah Donkoh GFP party, their inclusion and also what they bring to the party, it is insignificant. It cannot change the outcome of the election. Because Akuah Donkoh, Sebio, with all due respect, if she was alive, she was not going to pull 100,000 votes. So a country where we have been able to print ballot papers, presidential ballot papers, about 90% of them. Why do we say if even Akuah Donkoh party and to me unfilled the OBR, we need to leave the papers the way they are and go into the elections? And then a reasonable person be abeka. But let me tell you, the NPP, Jean Mensah, Bosman Asare, Tetemono, omni NPP for the coup Akuah Donkoh. The idea ni nyina say omo pese omo dane election no ye number 8 na John Mahama dan omo pese omo yi free ho omo pese omo find the way na omo yi John Mahama free 8 ho because omo nim say kiane kin Ghana for age John Mahama number 8 na tum and Ghana for nyina beto ma John Mahama na ma menkyerɛ strategy a omo epese omo adapt. Now this is the strategy Jean Mensah NPP for pese omo adapt with this Akuah Donkoh demise. Now, Obi the EC Beko court. Somebody will take the Electoral Commission to court very soon. Nipa na the EC Beko court Obeka check Ghana for say or a concerned citizen. Or the EC Beko court say Omuyi Akuah Donkoh the picture no free ho say Akuah Donkoh unfilled it and I say GFP. What I'm telling you is that the NPP will do everything possible to stop Akuah Donkoh party from nominating a presidential candidate. Now, say Ebasana, another MPP person will go to Supreme Court and tell the court to say Akuah Donkoh party name to me presidential candidate or say Akuah Donkoh party or more ballot paper or see a kem NPP for because Supreme Court. See, NPP for will do everything to stop Akuah Donkoh pathway from fielding a presidential candidate. Now, say omo presidential candidate amba NPP for we have nipa ba ko say onko court. Na onko kan check court say Akuah Donkoh party no and to me amfa obi amba be Akuah Donkoh 9 dia. And the was set sa Akuah Donkoh baby oda no e will see a yini number ni free o yini free o na yes sa numbers no. That is number 1. Now, number 2, Jean Mensah any EC, what they are going to do is almost be emergency IPAC meeting. See, say nipa the assembly quarter. Jean Mensah Bossman, omoni MPP for the Apalumu meeting. No ma fre emergency IPAC meeting. Now, fre emergency IPAC meeting now. 90% of NPP for now omo IPAC almost say omo ye Apalu any sanko for no. They will all say they support the Electoral Commission say Omuyi Akuah Donkoh party no free number 3 or so whatever it is Now what is going to happen is say Nibeka say that is what IPAC is saying, and that any political party at IPAC that will disagree should go to court for interpretation. Court one da ho osono maame. First of all, they will say Akuah Donkoh, they will stop Akuah Donkoh party from fielding a presidential candidate. Eba sana na obi di eye sa eye asem no akọ court MPP for no obi di akọ court. Se di panel the East court na East afre emergency IPAC meeting. East afre emergency IPAC meeting they will make sure say MPP surrogates no more IPAC meeting because say yes, EC should take out Akuah Donkoh. Now say EC should take out the Akuah Donkoh party in through. Now EC will say majority of IPAC no say it is a political party now you don't agree. Obviously NDC will not agree. A party are reasonable to say Afafranto Alan Cash will not agree. And some other people who are somebody like Hassan Ayaraga, I don't trust him. He will go with the NPP people. That's what he does all the time. He does business when it comes to politics. Now the rational ones will disagree. And the EC will say, oh, per the vote, majority of the parties at IPAC are saying, say, they side with us. So we want to go ahead and take Akuah Donkoh out and do re-balloting or change the number now, Ubia Wano. Then EC will say, any party that disagrees can go to Supreme Court. Now, Uko Supreme Court, Osrema Ami will be sitting there waiting. Tokonu, and Tokonu is an MPP communicator. So when you go to Tokonu will tell you, say, EC is right and that you should go back in less than 24 hours. Thank you very much. In just 24 hours, Madam Tokonu will put a committee, a team together and decide on the case in less than 24 hours. So Jean Mensah NDC Foko Court say omko seek interpretation for the actions of EC. Madam Tokonu will use less than 24 hours to put a group of judges together to say the EC is right and that the NDC should go back and listen to the EC. Because listen, when you look at Ghana's election, let me show you this. These are real facts. I'm not sure facts you are. Look at these facts. The reason why it is not important for the EC to even touch the ballot paper. The EC should continue and print all the papers. Because Ghana's election, this is the election. When we results now, now results on the screen is we're a summary of the 2020 presidential election results without Techiman South constituency. Now, Akuah Donkoh party, GFP, Akuah Donkoh did not get more than 5,000 votes. Akuah Donkoh didn't get even 6,000 votes. The whole election now, in 2020, Akuah Donkoh got 5,500 people voting for her. So what should stop us from printing the ballot papers? Because Akuah Donkoh, whether we allow her in or not, whether they have a presidential candidate or not, her number is insignificant. And there is no way Akuah Donkoh can win elections in Ghana. It is also number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5, Akuah Donkoh, the summary of 2020 elections now, only 5,000, Akuah Donkoh, 5,574 people voting for her. So why is the EC stopping the printing? After 10 days, say Akuah Donkoh party to be a presidential candidate, it should stay the same. The EC should not try. Said they will touch the voting paper and say they want to change the numbers and the positions of any political party. Because Akuah Donkoh's political party does not add anything to the elections. So Akuah Donkoh 4 million votes. I can say yes, she can win elections. But Akuah Donkoh 6,000 votes in just 2020 elections. So why are we even stopping the printing? You just have to tell Akuah Donkoh party and say, you know something, we cannot do anything about it. When somebody votes for Akuah Donkoh, you can come and present somebody's name. But when somebody votes for Akuah Donkoh, the person is technically voting for a party. But you cannot say you are stopping the printing and that you are going to change the numbering and that because of Akuah Donkoh is very, very insignificant in Ghana's elections.